About women on top, a dud's tale. In a utopian near future, women run the world, and they have finally sorted it out. Nurturing the earth back to health following centuries of male violence, and creating a pristine commercial paradise, women have separated men into those that are fertile, studs, and those that are useless, duds. It is one such dud, he who is labeled Wimpole, who threatens this paradise. Mistakenly assigned as a stud through a male clerical error, and assigned to impregnate the noble Commandress Roseanne, Dud Wimpole threatens the very fabric of our ideal future society. It is the account of Dud Wimpole that is presented here, in full, discovered by a present-day primary school teacher, highlighting the dangers of allowing men to read and write, and reminding us all why they should not be allowed anywhere near primary schools. A note about the font. You will, no doubt, have noticed that this text uses the E.B. Garamond font in size 12. The E.B. Garamond font, designed by Ernest Bellamy Garamond in 1932, is a bold, masculine font with pronounced curvature and rich flavors. The font is noted for its functional, shortened cross lines on the TS and HS, cementing its reputation as perhaps the most masculine of all fonts. It was this masculinity which Garamond's wife objected to, when she divorced him in 1935, and tried to claim the font as her own. She had, in the years leading to the divorce, told all her friends, and those of her husband, that it was she who had designed the font, and that her husband had taken it for himself, shortening the through lines, heightening the font's masculinity, and ruining the font entirely. E.B. Garamond countered with the observation that it would be unlikely for his former wife to be the creator of the font, since she had never designed a font before, nor had she ever shown any interest in designing fonts, and that he, as the professional font designer in the family, was obviously the originator. By then it was too late. The former Mrs. Garamond had spent so much of the preceding years telling anyone who would listen that she had created the E.B. Garamond font, that the thing became a received fact. E.B. Garamond lamented on his deathbed a few short years later that not only had his wife taken his house, his furniture and his book collection, she had also taken his favorite font. The font is used here in his memory. A Dud's Tale. When I was in nursery school, the teachers asked me, what does your dad do for a living? So I said he helps women get pregnant. Natalie Portman. Item 1, Newspaper cutting from the Thanet Gazette, by Cindy Sterling. Local school children uncover notes from the future in school time capsule. Local news. Children at Garlenge School in Thanet were surprised to find handwritten notes seemingly written in the future. The Year 3 children found the pages, dated 2050, and titled A Dud's Tale, when unpacking the contents from a time capsule buried on school grounds in 1950. Amid items clearly dated from the 1950s, including a tin of Spam, postcards from the post-war period, and faded drawings from Garlenge school children, were these strange, handwritten pages, inscribed on translucent, plastic sheets, and signed by one Dud Wimpole. Having shielded the children from the contents of the pages, Headmistress June Spencer has advised they seem to have been written by a pervert. The teacher who uncovered the pages with the class, and placing the impressionable minds at risk of their contents, one Mr. Bellington, has been suspended subject to an inquest. Item 2, Explanation regarding A Dud's Tale, by Fred Bellington. When I brought my Year 3 class down to the school allotment to uncover the time capsule, buried there in 1950, I was expecting to find some interesting remnants of the past that would be of use to introduce the children to social history. I was as surprised as anyone to find the futuristic-looking paper, wrapped in a plastic envelope, dated 2050, and labeled A Dud's Tale. At first I assumed it was some joke, perhaps placed there in recent times by some errant graduate. Clearly the pages were too new to have been there since the 1950s.